Okay, so this time around now, once again, I've rebooted, so I have to adjust all the camera stuff again. The camera stuff wasn't weird earlier. Let's see, if I turn on the light, am I more human looking? I am more human looking! Still a little gray. Every time I restart the computer, I gotta reset the camera stuff. You know, it's just weird that way. I'll bring that mic a little bit closer in there. How are you? Welcome to show number 150. That's better. Wow, the 150th Troubadork Non-Commute show right here in the room known as Away, in the house known as Odoroki, in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, in my case, human looking is relatively a good thing. I can't pull off scary at all. And by the way, we have a new sponsor, Ray's House of Monoliths. Get yourself a monolith. Yeah, there we go. Right. Get yourself a monolith. Put it out for everyone to see. Everyone to see. Get yourself a monolith. The absurdity will set you free. It doesn't really matter whose party that you're with. So let's all make it weird. Get yourself a monolith. That's right, Ray's House of Monoliths. We deliver, just don't ask how. We are celebrating 150 shows here at the Troubadork Non-Commute Show, brought on by the fact that I was working from home because we were all locked down for a couple of months there. Remember when we were all locked down for a couple of months there, and many of us thought, we'll just all be locked down for a couple of months, it'll be fine. Okay, so flaw in plan, but that's okay. We're here, we have each other, we're going to continue to be as happy and goofy and silly and weird as we can, because honestly at this point absurdity really is the appropriate response. So today we're gonna play some songs and I'm gonna do some math at you, but first we're gonna play some songs. We're gonna go to the classics here. My apologies to the English beat, but here we are. 2, 3, 4. Possums in a trench coat come to tea. Sit right at a table like you and me. Do they want another biscuit? Better give them 3, 'cause they're not really a gang. There's 6 possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat go to town. Got themselves an Uber, couldn't flag it down. Driver wouldn't stop, no, he just kept on going 'cause he didn't want to drive. 6 possums in a trench coat. Marsupial discrimination. Possums in a trench coat see a show. Do you give them just one seat or the entire front row? Do the possums in the middle just peek out through the buttons? Man, I got so many questions for 6 possums in a trench coat. Bridge! Possums in a trench coat on a date. Got there 20 minutes early, couldn't stand to be late. Everything turned out to go much better than expected, 'cause their date turned out to be 6 possums in a caftan. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. 6 possums in a caftan. Six possums in a trench coat. And 1 heckling kitty cat. That's Delilah. I don't know if you can hear her out there. I'm in here. I'm doing a show, Delilah. It's loud and weird. Felt pick. Pick made of felt, I should say. I've been starting to use this a little bit more just because the edge of my thumb is getting really calloused and hurty. This, of course, Possums in a Trench Coat, is dedicated to my friend Cameron, who told me one day that they were, in fact, not a human, but in fact, 3 possums in a trench coat. And if 3 possums in a trench coat is funny, 6 possums in a trench coat is freaking hilarious. Which led to the song, which led to the drawing. Loud and weird. That is very true. I am entirely in favor of loud and weird at all times. Well, look at me, for God's sakes. This is not the face of someone who is quiet. Only peak at the best felt. That's right. I felt the peak. See, I feel the peak. I feel it. No, we're gonna. But the possums are, of course, over here, drawn by the inimitable Mel White. And that is Geraldine, and then either Bob or Roberto, we can't tell. Then Sophia, then Cameron, then either Roberto or Bob, again, we can't tell. And finally, George, also known as Hatchback. And Tina and Danica have informed me that Hatchback has, in fact, moved out of their house. We wish Hatchback the best on his future endeavors. All right, so 150 shows. That's rather a lot. I did some math on a pad here, and that's 150 shows, about 30 minutes per show. And the average Renaissance Fair festival or festival event has a person doing about 4 shows a day, unless they're like really grinding it out hard. If they've got a set or a show time. If they're just working lanes, they're just beating the hell out of it all the time. So that's about 4 shows a day, so about 8 shows per weekend, which 150 shows is 18.75 festival weeks. Now, the long-run fairs out here run about 8 weeks. There are some that are kind of the baton death march of the Renaissance Festival industry. There used to be 12-week fairs, and those were just killing people left, right, front, and center. So I've effectively done a season's worth of shows. 2 long-run fairs and a couple of short fairs in the middle. And that's pretty good, considering. I mean, we've been doing this since March. And so far, nobody's died that we're aware of from the show. So that's good. We're just trying to improve matters left, right, as much as we can. The next few songs are, of course, of the big, goofy, and silly category. However, this next one is, in fact, I'm going to change instruments here. I'm going to get down the baritone ukulele. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. See, told you I'd be back. The baritone ukulele, because this was paid for. Actually, do I want to use this one or not? Let me double check something. The next song I'm doing actually paid for this instrument. I'm not kidding. What did I get here? Yeah, that's yeah, I should, because it's got an F chord in it, and while I can play the F chord on this, it's a pain in the tuchus. I'll bring this back then. This is the song that was initially inspired by Stephen Bruce, who gave us the lyrics on his Facebook feed. Ask me again if COVID ever ends. And then I kind of riffed off. So the phrase socially, emotionally distant wandered into my head. And it's like, well, clearly that's what the song is about. And then Eric, who has been on here a few times, said, well, if you, I posted a set of the lyrics and the chorus to it. And Eric said, if you make this into a 4-minute song, I will Venmo you $100. And I wrote the song in about, half hour, maybe an hour. There was an awful lot of, I can't believe I'm actually doing this as I was singing that. But so this is the song that got me that instrument. And the one finger picking style I'm actually comfortable doing. I wanna take you in my arms and never let you leave. But in the interim, I am still coughing in my sleep. My desire to have you by my side is much more than endemic. And I'd do so much more if 'twere not for this here damn pandemic. I wish that we could be more than just friends. Ask me again if COVID ever ends. Till then I'm socially, emotionally distant. My longing for your comfort's growing stronger every day. But what else can it do with us 6 feet or more away? The hunger for your touch, my love, is just short of outrageous. But we can't snog 'cause one or both of us might be contagious. I wish that we could be more than just friends. Ask me again if COVID ever ends. Till then I'm socially, emotionally distant. Gotta work that in there. I'm still being heckled by my cat out there. You ask me, can we meet again? I know it spells my doom. I'll do my best, but I can't pet your backside on the Zoom. Technology is really grand, but it's all doomed to fail. For the things I want to give to you, I simply can't email. I wish that we could be more than just friends. Ask me again if COVID ever ends. Till then I'm socially, emotionally distant. You know, really, the big thing about this song here is that it really does kind of need an instrumental part in the middle, maybe with a slide guitar. And if I had a slide guitar and could play it, I'd put that part in right here. Sadly, I don't have a slide guitar, nor do I have the talent to play it. So I'm going to talk over this part to kill time till we get to the next line. You send me pics and movies, all intending to entice. Well, that's fine, but I still have to heed the CDC's advice. I want to stampede to your side, but what else can I do? 'Cause you and I both know it's something much more than the flu. I wish that we could be more than just friends. Ask me again if COVID ever ends. Till then I'm socially, emotionally distant. Last verse. Promise. But now the time I fear has come for us to say adieu. I hope that you will love me still when this damn plague is through. I'll wait for that one special day our love is celebrated. But for your safety and for mine, we'd best keep separated. I wish that we could be more than just friends. Ask me again if COVID ever ends. Till then I'm socially, emotionally distant. A heckling cat's... Yes! How many cats complain when I start to perform? So far, 1. She used to just leave the room. Now she sits out there yelling. Probably for treats. Now, next up is another song inspired by a friend of mine. Yes, it's that time. Yes, see, 'tis time for Fernando. I met this chord before I had the song. I was just screwing around like, that's, because this is an F7, and if you just move it over one, you get G minor something here. And then my friend Lucky, told me that they whenever they encounter a jumping spider, they name the jumping spider Fernando. Why? I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I think it's awesome. And then it's like, well, then clearly, Fernando, the jumping spider. Then I had to write a song. And this. Then I had to learn flamenco chords. And then I had to write a song. I guarantee nothing. 8 little eyes and 8 little legs and 1 heart big as a tree. This tiny valiant jumping spider is a boon companion to me. Fernando, Fernando, the jumping spider. He's friendly. He doesn't want to make you cry, to scream, shout, or to bellow. When he leaps up and he lands on his shirt, he just wants to say hello. Fernando, Fernando, the jumping spider. He's friendly. He is just looking for an amigo. He don't want to make you cry. What he leaps up to say, hola, you might just scream really high. Fernando, Fernando, the jumping spider. Hey, friendly! Fernando. Ole. Yes! I got through it, didn't I? I look forward to doing this particular song in front of people because I suspect by about the 4th or 5th time that I perform this particular song in front of a crowd of people at an event, I will have them all shouting, "He's friendly," with me. And it will concern and quite possibly frighten the people in the booths surrounding the stage. It doesn't take much to amuse me. It really doesn't. Oh my gosh. Have we already gotten to song 4? Well, technically this is song 5 because I did the Monolith jingle. I like the Monolith. I made a Monolith video. If you hit up my YouTube channel, you'll see under the new videos and also under Idiot with a Ukulele, the Monolith video I made. I just had this, I was like, da-da-da-da-da, get yourself a monolith. And then I had to write the song. Because that's how my brain works. It's either that or engage in even more socially awkward behavior, which I don't think any of us really need to deal with right now. So last song of this set, the Baton Death March Festival. Oh. Well, there's already This Is the Fair That Never Ends. And, I mean, honestly, in Texas, the Scarborough Renaissance Festival used to start in, like, late March when it often was snowing and continued through mid-June when people were just bursting into flames because of the heat. Management has gotten a little smarter about that. That's not going to be right. You know, I have actually had 3 people tell me they hear the drums Fernando in actual conversation. Usually because they heard drums. And one of them is my friend Christina. And Christina, if you ever see this, I remember that conversation. I don't expect a whole lot of people to watch this show when I'm doing it, but I expect people to check it out later on because I'm really big in syndication. You know, I am like the Chuck Barris Productions of live streaming. I don't get a lot of people watching me when I'm doing it live, but it picks up because people are bored and they just go and see what the heck's going on. I aspire to be the Chuck Barris of live streaming. That guy's a freaking genius. He created the Gong Show. The last song is dedicated to my friends. Specifically, there's 2 of them in mind. I'm not going to tell you which 2. You get to decide that for yourself. If you know my peer group, I am sure that you can come up with at least 2 names on your own, completely unassisted, in regard to who I might just be singing about. And that's intentional. Because I didn't want to have to write a song for both of them. They'd fight, so I can just tell them it's for them, and then I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and use this pick here again. So it's the side of my thumb. I can't tell if you can see this, but the side of my thumb is developing a really nice little horned callus there. This is one of those where I had a rhythm, and then I had words that came with it. I originally wrote this song to be kind of a Jonathan Colton coffee house kind of like, you know, happy light song. And then this chord sequence said, no, we're going to take over here. And it's like, okay. You know what? I can't do with that. I got to do it with my thumb. Yeah. Weird, huh? They've got charisma, they've got the plan. My buddy's got the means, and by them I'll stand. When it comes to world domination, I'm their biggest fan. Well, I just can't wait to watch their plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. I go faster, slowing it down. World's a messy place, so much to solve. My friend won't let the challenge quell their resolve. They're gonna need some friends to implement their plan, and I'll be quite happy to be their right-hand man. Well, maybe like 4th or 5th in line. Yeah, somewhere in the administrative ranks. Someone's got to handle the paperwork, right? You know, clean up afterwards. Well, I just can't wait to watch their plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. Why was I playing Boogie Woogie earlier? I don't know. Simply gonna guide us to a better land. You'll barely notice a firm yet gentle hand. Well, I just can't wait to watch my plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. What'd I say? Yes, I did. Subtle, wasn't it? Well, I just can't wait to watch my plans unfurl when I help my friend take over the world. And so we somehow managed to successfully reach the culmination of the 150th, it says over there, 150th Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show. Good Lord, how'd that happen? A sesquicentennial of shows, folks. Many of you have watched most of these. Some of you have only stumbled into this randomly. Some of you have just barely tripped over it. Some of you have been shown this by other people, and some of you were going, what the hell was this anyway? I want to thank all of you who are watching this now, or hanging up, clean up Idle Brazil. I'd like to talk to you for a moment about ducts. That's a joke that like 90% of us will actually get, and the other 10% will go to the internet and find out why it's funny. Thank you all for hanging out with me. We will continue to do this until such time as we have a better plan. There's light on the horizon. It's starting off in England, where the second person to receive the coronavirus vaccine was named, I am not kidding you here, William Shakespeare. You know, that shows the writers are beginning to pay attention again. For a long time, there was a really lazy writing team on this reality, and you could tell because you just see the same thing over and over and over again, and it was just getting really irritating. It was, frankly, I think, more annoying than the last season of Game of Thrones. I say this having never watched Game of Thrones, but having watched Lindsay Ellis's analyses of that series. Totally worth it, by the way. Lindsay Ellis, if you have no other reason to go check Lindsay Ellis's YouTube channel out, check out her rant on Rent. It is a thing of beauty. But I digress. I often do. It's in my nature. Well, let's talk about the things, because we usually talk about things, and here are the things that involve money, because we live in a capitalistic society at this time. Red herring, killer bees arc. I know, right? We're still, actually, the murder hornets. Well, there were killer bees and murder hornets, so those are still floating around out there. They just said, well, screw this, throw it out there. I think once we had the election, the team started, either they got new people in, or they said, oh, crap, okay. Oh, I know how to write this, and they started to write it. So tip jars are up here. PayPal and Venmo are both The Adequate. Either / The Adequate or at The Adequate, depending on your predilection. I want to thank Eric, who paid for Socially Emotionally Distant, I might add. That makes me an official professional songwriter. I got paid monies for it. And Robert and Rick and Emily and Miranda for tossing some bucks in the bucket. I also want to thank, with a continuing combination of deep gratitude and extraordinary bewilderment, my Patreon peeps over here at patreon.com/The Adequate. Chris and Teppo and Shankas, Kuro and Linda and Ann and Stephen and Robin, Alicia and Relly and BK and Kaylee and Richard and John and Brian and Lorene for being my Party on Party Down Patreon patron people. They got a preview of the Monolith jingle. The recorded one that's not a video will go onto SoundCloud in a bit. The video, I made the video shortly after recording the non-video version because I hadn't done a video in a little while and I felt like doing it. I am working on a video for the Dread Peasant Festus. It's going to be entirely made of woodcuts because we have no budget and we can't go outside. And what are you going to do, right? You know, I mean, honestly. But Patreon peeps get stuff. They get books, they get ebooks, they get buttons, they get previews of songs, they get to be shouted out at during this show and anything else that's over like 2 minutes in my world that I create, I give them credit for. All of them, any money that comes in, and trust me on this, I am not making a living doing this, and that is not my goal. Be nice if it happened, but I don't expect it to. Anything that comes in through PayPal, Patreon, or Venmo goes right back into the show, like the light, and I actually had to get an extra switch. The switch here that turns the light on and off, because that thing has a switch, but it's behind the monitors, which is where the camera is, so I have enough distance and depth of field. So I had to get a light switch. USB light switches are a thing, weirdly enough. So we also, of course, have all the archives over here. Facebook.com, twitch.tv/Tobias the Adequate. Facebook keeps all the stuff. Twitch keeps 2 weeks worth of stuff. YouTube.com/MPLEGARE is caught up to yesterday. And this will go on probably tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or something like that. SoundCloud.com/Matthew-Laguerre has a lot of my recorded stuff that I can't do live, like Business Goose, 30 to 50 Feral Hogs, the 4-part harmony version of Reaver, Johnny Reaver, Ham. Listen to Ham at least once. It's worth the 2.5 minutes. It's literally me making noises into a device and then layering that up. I don't have one of those fancy sequencer things, so it is literally me making noises in the device and playing it back and making more noises and playing it back and making more noises and so on and so forth. Also, Ask Philo has 2 more episodes to go. One will drop this Friday at 1 a.m. Central. You can find them over here at Ask Philo at anchor.fm/The Adequate or anywhere The Adequate podcast is distributed, including Spotify. And you probably have Spotify, so check it out. Every time anybody listens to any of that stuff, I get a penny. And at this point, I have after 3 years, I have about $13. I could cash that out, go have me a combination platter, but I'm going to wait until it's safe to actually go to the Mexican restaurant. And maybe I'll have a couple of bucks to tip the mariachi band too, because I think a mariachi band celebration is a good thing for having made, double digits on the interwebs. I also want to tell you that Thud Bucket. Wow. Okay, let me move this over. There we go. I forgot about the chat. Thud Bucket. Death metal you can laugh at is dropping on CD Baby December 20th. We are currently in the pre-release mode. Oh my gosh. We have one video out, and that is on YouTube under Thud Bucket. We have a Facebook page for Thud Bucket. It is myself and my friend Ron, who I have known for a really long time. And this band basically started on a dare. And we have 10 songs on the album. Ominous Positivity is the first track and is the first video. We are now beginning to work on another video, which is being worked on by two guys half a continent apart who can't really go outside. So I have no idea how this is going to look when we're done. Thud Bucket, check it out. If you have friends that are into death metal, or laughing, or both, come check it out. That's everything. That's all we got. That's enough out of me. Thank you all once again for hanging out with me. Y'all improve my day, and I hope I improve yours. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Take care of those around you. And remember, absurdists often find the truth. And incrementalists can change the world, just slowly. Y'all have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate. And I thank you once again for encouraging my behavior. I'll see y'all next time. Take care.